What's going on, guys? This is Corey from Lion Dads. I help my fellow dads get back in shape and get healthy with a carnivore diet and back to basics exercise. In today's video, I want to talk about some concepts you can apply to your carnivore diet, your fitness, but overall your life in general. But before we get into it, I want you guys to go down and hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment down below. And let me know kind of what you think about what I talk about, how you have applied it to your own, life journey, fitness journey, whatever, or how you might moving forward. So the big thing that I want to talk about today is making mistakes and kind of moving past those mistakes and the strategies, like how I got to that point, how I used to make mistakes, dwell on them, and try to use that as a strategy for moving forward instead of focusing on what my ultimate goal is and what the end game is for me. So people make mistakes all the time, every day. As a human being, it can be expected that you're going to make mistakes pretty much everything in life, whether that's regarding your health and fitness. You might make mistakes at work. For us, dads that I talk to on here, that I'm trying to reach out to, we make mistakes as parents all the time, as husbands, as friends, everything. I've made mistakes in literally every facet of my life, and so have all of you. Every one of us has made these kind of mistakes, and when we make mistakes, it's really, really hard not to dwell on the mistakes that we've made. So, for example, you'll do something, let's say, you've been on this fitness journey for a while. You've tried the no carb thing, the carnivore diet thing, and you've been doing it for a couple weeks and it's been going really good. Maybe you're down 10 pounds or 5 pounds and you're making strides in the gym. You're just feeling better. This is improved, that's improved. You got some stuff going away. And you have a buddy come over one night and he brings a 6-pack of beer over and, some chips or whatever, some kind of food or something. You guys watch a baseball game or something together. And then you find yourself just indulging in that stuff, which is totally human, totally normal. We all want to be social. We don't want to leave our friendships in the dust due to our lifestyles and stuff like that if we can help it. So you indulge in some of that stuff and you wake up the next day and you don't feel so hot, which is common. Some knee pain comes back. Maybe you've added a pound or so. It's mostly probably just water weight and stuff like that that you'll get rid of quick. But maybe you can't get in the gym that day because you don't feel like it. It just feels like a setback. It feels like, oh man, I've been doing so good for just a short period of time, and look at me already. I'm screwing up. I'm making mistakes. I'm failing. I'm, giving in to old bad habits or social pressure, or whatever you want to call it. And ultimately, it's your choice and your decision, and it's your fault, and that. Even if you don't want to sit and outwardly admit it, it was your fault. Nobody came over, twisted your arm, put a gun to your head, and made you eat chips and drink beer and stuff. And there's a lot of ways of justifying saying, hey, it's okay to indulge once in a while. And I definitely, I don't think it's always the end of the world to do stuff like that even. But I'm kind of going off on a rant here. I digress. What I'm saying is it's too easy for you to make a mistake and then dwell on that mistake. And the mindset we get into for learning from that mistake is I'm going to dwell on it and I'm going to obsess over that mistake and I'm going to kick myself for it and I'm going to feel bad about it and shame myself and all this other stuff. And what I think, in my opinion, is that it's not a healthy strategy to employ when you do make a mistake. The kind of dwelling on the mistake itself, dwelling on, I'm a piece of crap because I couldn't handle it or I couldn't overcome whatever. That's not the mindset to get into. So that's how I used to handle mistakes, especially early on in all my different dieting endeavors that I have gone, over at length on this channel. I've tried so many different diets and eating strategies and whatever you want to call it. I've tried the calorie counting, I've tried high fiber, I've tried high protein bodybuilding food, like these junk food bodybuilding, like the protein bars and protein donuts and crap that you can get at like Walmart and stuff in the fitness section and all that stuff. I've tried all these different things, and I always inevitably made mistakes, and I always dwelled on those mistakes and had a hard time overcoming them. Because I think the biggest issue, and this is true on my carnivore diet too, is I just dwelled on the mistakes and not actually like moving past them and getting back on track and focusing on my goal. I just sat there feeling sorry for myself and kicking myself over the mistake. And then ultimately being like, well, I already screwed that up, I might as well screw up. It kind of leads into these weird traps and pitfalls that you wouldn't think they lead into, but they do. Part of your way of coping and feeling sorry for yourself for making your mistake is sometimes moving on and making another mistake because you made the other mistake. Or just, oh, it didn't work one time, I'm going to readjust my whole plan, and just, it didn't work, I failed, I'm going to try something else. Instead of, bouncing back and sticking to it. So that would always cause me setbacks in my, journey to weight loss and better health and better fitness and getting stronger and getting more athletic as a dad, being able to keep up with my kids, whether they're teenagers or my, little toddler now. So my thing was thinking, how do I move past this? How do I overcome these mistakes without sitting there and dwelling on them and making them the focal point of the issue that I'm dealing with at the time? So what I had to do instead was kind of shift my mindset. And I know you guys are going to stop and say, well, geez, man, everybody can just shift their mindset. Anybody thinks they can shift their mindset. It's easier said than done. That's absolutely correct. It takes time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of mindfulness. And it's not easy for everybody to do. It certainly wasn't easy for me. And it's just like working out, lifting, or making food, or learning a new craft or something. It takes time, and it takes practice, and it takes you being cognizant and thinking about it. So what I did was, instead of dwelling on my mistakes, and like I said, this took time, this took practice, I would sit and I'd say, okay, I made a mistake. I screwed up. Accept the mistake. Accept the fact that you made a mistake. Accept the fact that you're human and that you're going to make mistakes, that everybody who has ever lived has made horrifying mistakes in their life, to tiny little mistakes on a daily basis, and come up with strategies in the future to mitigate those mistakes, or how to overcome them in general, or accept that you're going to do these types of things in the future and coming up with a strategy the next day how to bounce back from that. And then at that point, you're not even really thinking of it as a mistake. And that kind of leads into like, oh, this is a cheat day type day thing and all that. And that's a whole nother topic for another video, which I've probably done one. But so what you need to do when you make the mistake is be like, okay, I did this. I'm not mad at myself. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I screwed up one time, one weekend, one Saturday on an isolated weekend. Or maybe I went on a trip, I went on a vacation, and one thing led to another, and there was all this cool stuff at this place and all this good food, and I'm at this amusement park and I ate a churro, and then the next day, that night I took my wife out and we had a glass of wine, and then the next day I hit a brewery, you know what I mean? Whether that mistake was a week-long endeavor or an afternoon watching a football game, you need to sit and put that mistake in a box, isolate it, and say, all right, this is that mistake I made, and here's my goal. Here's the goal off to the side of that mistake. I'm still on the path to that goal. I'm still headed that direction. I've hit a minor setback, a minor roadblock. Now what? What am I going to do? As long as you stick and keep your goal in mind and keep your final outcome in mind, you should be able to bounce back from that mistake. But that's the biggest problem a lot of us have, is we dwell on the mistake and not the goal. We don't keep the goal in mind. We don't wake up and see tomorrow's another day. I'm going to get back on track. I'm going to get better. I can make a couple minor tweaks here and there that I can bounce back from this mistake a little quicker, and I'm just going to go with the flow of it a little bit. And that's really all you need to do. I think too many of us just go into this overcomplicating things and overthinking it and saying, I have to be perfect, I have to be excellent, I have to be dialed in at the top of the game 100% of the time, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, all the time. And it's not realistic. It is absolutely not realistic. You're not going to be perfect all the time. Now, if there's like a thing like where you have some kind of illness or something that you cannot absolutely afford to make these mistakes, it's a whole nother topic, a whole nother story that frankly, that's not my area to deal with. I'm just sitting here trying to help dads get back in shape and get fit. But you just need to realize, like, the goal is the important thing. The mistake, the setback, the minor road bump is not all that important. It's not important to the journey at all. So I kind of work in project management a little bit, and mistakes and setbacks and roadblocks are expected. We kind of plan for that type of stuff, and we, have contingencies and in other, workarounds and stuff that we expect problems, we expect setbacks, we expect mistakes, and that's totally fine. You have to just kind of understand that these things are going to happen and have a plan before you even make the mistake, if possible, to bounce back from that mistake or mitigate it completely moving forward. That's really it. It's really as simple as that. You don't want to overthink things. You just set your goal, work toward that goal. You make a mistake, you say screw it, you get your ass back on track, and you keep chugging forward to the goal. You're climbing the mountain, you kicked a rock, you stubbed your toe, sit, put some dirt on it, keep climbing the mountain. That's really all it is. That's really all it comes down to. You will overcome the mistake. If you make a mistake for one day, it is not going to undermine and undercut weeks or months of progress. One day can't undo a month of progress. I'm sorry, I know that's a hard thing for a lot of us to wrap our minds around, that we can't unravel everything in our life in one day. Certain things outside of fitness and diet and stuff, you certainly can unravel a whole lifetime in one action. But when it comes to diet, fitness, stuff like that, not accidentally, but making a judgment call to have a beer with a guy you haven't seen in 5 years isn't going to unravel the month of hardcore discipline that you've put in. So be a little more forgiving of yourself. Focus on your goal. Make your goal the most important thing. Make the minor setbacks and mistakes and things like that just something that you have accepted is going to happen, and you're just going to move back from them. And that's really the mindset you guys need to adopt. So I just challenge you, for the next time you make a mistake, just keep moving along. Put the mistake aside. Don't beat yourself up. Accept yourself as a human. You made a judgment call. Maybe you even enjoyed yourself a little bit. Look back on it. You know what? I had a good time. Now I'm going to redirect, refocus, and move forward. So that should about do it for today, guys. I hope all of you got something out of that. As always, I have links to all my social media down in the description of the video. Also, you can head on over to lion-dads.com. The link to that is down there as well. You can get a hold on me on there, learn more about Lion Dads, click the link, get on the mailing list, join the Discord server and all that stuff, the online community. Learn all kinds of different stuff instead of just diet and fitness. Like I said before, I got a lot of stuff coming in the near future, more of that. I'm getting up to where I almost have like 200 subscribers, which is really cool. It's really awesome. I'm excited about it. I kind of want to start doing like AMAs or something like that, some live videos, more interactive stuff with you guys. Let me know down in the comments if you guys would be interested in something like that. I kind of had 200 set as my goal for that. If I get to 200, maybe I'll start doing stuff like that, like Saturday morning, afternoon, something like that. Do a little live sesh with you guys. Something cool. If you guys are interested, let me know down below. But till next time, I'll catch you guys later. Adios.